play. Giancarlo will get the start, I think. Josh Malin's practiced this week, which gives us some flexibility. Elias's been playing some guard and some tackle. Jason Moore, Henry Kling, Christian Beard, whose ankle's been bothering him, for the last couple of weeks, but I think he's getting healthier now. So, but Giancarlo's a big, powerful man, 330-some pounds. He took some reps the last couple of weeks at guard, practicing, so he's been prepared for it, and we'll start him and go from there.
When you guys brought him in, did you look at him as a guard or a tackler or somebody who can play a lot of positions?
He's got the frame of a guard and the athleticism of a tackle. So we thought, we'll play him at tackle at first, and then eventually, though, he'll probably end up playing a long time playing guard, So, as I said, there's such different positions. There's a little more thinking at guard. There's a little more finesse at tackle. There's a little more power required at guard. So he's getting used to the change, but I think he'll be fine.
Noticed you guys trying to simulate some of that crowd noise and the band and everything in here. How have the players been picking up on that, and just how's that going?
Oh, that's been good. One of the things it does, it just adds a little chaos to practice, which is good. Learning how to think when you're distracted, and there's all these other things. And again, the whole goal is always just to make the game all football and nothing else, eliminate all distractions. So we did that. It's terrorizing for you as a coach because you can't talk to anybody, but I think it's good, and hopefully get a little more ready for the game.
Have you seen the team transfer the practices last week into this week, as far as just the effort, the focus?
The effort's definitely there. I mean, there's a lot different to team to get ready for, and so we're certainly making mistakes and trying to get everything figured out. Different defense, different offense, and Coach Rhule and that crew do a lot of things offensively that challenge you defensively. But certainly our effort and our physicality and our attention to detail is all right where it was last week. I'm happy about that.
Well, what do you see from Trace Furman? He had a big game here last year. What do you see from him?
Well, at the heart of who they are a downhill, old-school football team. And I think some people think they're a spread. They're playing with two tight ends and a fullback, and they run power, or they run counter, and they run counter tray, and they run outside zone and inside zone, and the backs are patient. The offensive line is outstanding, and Trey's a great back. They make one cut and they hit it. The receivers block. So it's a physical football team. And I thought last year the key was really they ran the football in the fourth quarter, and for us to have a chance, that obviously can't happen.
I know you know Lincoln pretty well, and you guys spent time in the AAC, but what did you kind of see from his development as a head coach the last couple of years? Anything he does dramatically different from what you became accustomed to? Or?
Yeah, when I knew him, he was working as the offensive coordinator at East Carolina. I just think he's a really good guy, really good coach, really good recruiter. And, he was really, really spread when he was at East Carolina. And they become more of a power football team and play-action football team at Oklahoma. But you see a guy that, you see a team that looks well-prepared and plays at all levels. I think one of the cool things about them is they're first or second in every special teams category in the Big 12. A lot of our guys, all their starters, their starting receivers are on those special teams. So they definitely commit to being a whole total team and not just, hey, we're a good offense or a good defense. And so that, to me, that when you see a total team, that shows you that that's a good head coach. And even though he's an offensive, guy, he spreads that around to the whole team, that mentality.
How hard is it preparing for Kyler Murray, or what do you see in preparing for Kyler Murray there?
Well, just a lot of respect for him and the type of quarterback he is. He can throw it, and he has the added dimension of escapability in the pocket, and then he can run the ball. He can run zone read, he can run counter read, and he can pull the ball down and run. And so, they're complete at every level. They've got great receivers, great backs, great offensive line, tight ends, everything. Good system to go along with it, and I think he just really pulls the trigger and makes a lot of big throws.
Pat Lawrence on the right side, how comforting is it to have a senior guy, that many starts, that reliable at that position?
Yeah, Pat's reliable day in and day out. One of the things I told the team today was, we talk a lot about process, and I hear the kids now starting to talk about process and that just trying to be the best you can every day. But it's not really the process; it's how you do the process. It's what you put into it. So Pat, after the game, had a little bit of the flu on Monday. Came out yesterday to practice. They had to give him an IV. He was down 10 pounds. Was running in and out of the bathroom. Not feeling great, but he practiced, and so he just wants to be great. He's playing at a high level. He's getting better and better, and I'm proud to coach him. I think he's an outstanding young man. And he's a good player, and he's dependable. You put him, Blackmore, over there on the right side, you feel really good about, you know what, when you play offensive line, it's not always going to be perfect. It's not always going to be pretty, but it's got to be tough, and it's got to have a demeanor, and those guys certainly have a demeanor.
You mentioned on Monday the need to eliminate big plays and just change this into a normal football game. What would that look like for your team?
I mean, it's hard to eliminate big plays against this group because they can run the football, and because the quarterback, I think he's only been hurried like 11 times. I mean, he doesn't get hit. And so the way to eliminate big plays is to affect the quarterback. And so you try to blitz these guys, and they make big plays. You try to max protect it. He runs around, has all day. I mean, they're just a good team. So I think for us, what we want to do is make them make the big play, but don't give them anything. You know, like last year they had a 99-yard run. Guy came out of his gap, had a 99-yard run. You know, played cover 2, and the freshman safety or freshman corner everyone was bid on it, and they hit a ball over his head. So we just want to make sure we play our defense and don't make mistakes and don't give them anything. And if they make a play, they make a play. We haven't seen a lot of Big 12 ball games so far that are 7-0, right? I mean, there's going to be some touchdowns scored. There's going to be some plays made. But don't give them anything. And at the same time, you know, let's go try to make our fair share of plays. You know, we haven't picked the ball off, you know, the way we wanted to. We haven't knocked it out. Let's go try to play defense and play with confidence. And so that's a work in progress. It's something you have to try to do every week. It's the number one stat is that turnovers and explosive plays. But just don't make mistakes. You know, make them be just football plays. Hey, I missed a tackle. Okay, move on. Hey, he jumped up over and caught me the ball. Okay, move on. But don't have it be, I played it wrong, ran the wrong defense, or I saw something, I did something. If we can do that, I think we've shown that we'll become a good defense over time if we just eliminate those things.
Have any of your older players been talking to some of these younger players about what they're going to expect when they walk into Oklahoma and they see this huge crowd and the band blaring? Have they been able to talk to them about that?
They might be talking to them in the locker room. You know, I haven't done anything official with it. We've just said, hey, it's crowd noise. You know, it's one of the things you want to acknowledge but not focus on, right? You know, so we have the music here. If crowd noise makes you not play well, then you know you're not the football player you want to be. So we're trying to acknowledge it, but not. You know, I had to go ask I've never been to Oklahoma, right? So I had to go ask the older players, hey, how loud is it? How is this? How is that? So, but we certainly expect it. We understand it, but it's also, you know, so it's a tremendous opportunity. Go play, not just to be there in that environment, but to play against a ranked team, a top 10 team.
Coach, can you give an update on some of the injuries, like Braylon Arnold? I know he's kind of banged up a little bit. Tyrone Hunt, Josh Mann, how they're progressing. Xavier Jones as well. Just some guys that may be banged up and trying to get back.
A lot of those guys will play Saturday. You know, Xavier's in the protocol right now. We're just being very cautious with him. You know, I think when I say we, the doctors, you know, I think they're being very cautious with him. Just want to make sure he doesn't come back too fast. You know, so you know, Malin and Tyrone, you know, we'll see if they can, you know, see what they can do if they can go, and if they can go, just how long. You know, I mean, they might not be able to play 50 snaps, but if they can give us 4 or 5 snaps here, then I think our offensive line overall and our defensive line overall will be that much better, you know, this week than they were last week.
You said on Saturday after the game that you wanted to loosen up a little bit for your players, make sure that they saw you having fun in terms of you just being an old pro kind of guy, pro, straight business. What does that look like for you this week? Do you have to make sure that they're staying loose heading up there?
No, I don't have to do that. I said I think my term was I'd meet them halfway, and then I'd let them have a little more fun, only because they earned the right to have fun. You know, so I think someone asked me the other day, are you going to change? I'm never going to change. I just think they have earned the right. You know, so it's like if I studied for a test and I stayed up all week and I studied for my test on Friday. I wake up Friday morning, I feel pretty good. I go have a nice breakfast and I can go take the test. If I didn't study, then I wake up and I'm nervous. You know, and so when I see our players preparing, when I see them studying, when I leave at night and there's players still in there watching tape, I say to myself, okay, we've got a good group. When I have kids texting me at 10 o'clock asking me questions, when kids are asking questions in the middle of the day, I say, okay, that's a team that's preparing. So now they've earned the right to have fun. You know what I mean? Like, football's supposed to be a fun game if you prepare. And you know what's fun about playing football? What's fun is winning and playing well. And so, can you guys turn that off for a second? Just give us 1 second. I can't. I'm like blinking. I can't even see straight. Sorry, RJ. Yeah, Yeah, so that more like that. But to me, the week. I mean, I tell them all the time. They're starting to get it. Like I'm a maniac during practice. I'm yelling and screaming and yelling at coaches and yelling at Taylor and they're starting to. Why? Because I'm trying to create distractions. So they learn to just like don't listen to that guy and just stay focused on what I'm doing. And then after we go upstairs, I get food. We hang out. We talk to the players. We have meetings here in a little bit. So it's just that sort of dichotomy that's never going to change. But I want them to prepare their tails off and go to the game and fight to win, right? I mean, and so, it's not about believing if you can, all that stuff. It's about doing, right? It's about, fighting. And so if I see a team that's fighting, I want them to have fun. And that's what's great about going on the road. The only way you can ever really win on the road against a good team in a hostile environment is if you stay together, right? I mean, this is a team in Oklahoma that's outscoring opponents like 109-30 in the first half. And they're getting way up on people. And so what do? Well, you know that they got up on you last year. You just try to weather the storm, and you try to push the game to the second half. And how do you do that? You just do it by having each other's back and understanding bad things are going to happen and pushing, and not worrying about the crowd or this. Or just play football, get it to the second half, don't panic, push each other, and then when you get to the second half, see what happens. And that's that's what prepare, have fun, but also be together.
What stands out to you about this Oklahoma defense?
Well, just, I think the first thing is, number one, they have great players, Number two, they're very hard to run the football against. They're 3-4, and, when you're in the NFL, they play the 3-4 on rundowns, and when it goes to pass downs, they take it out, right? Well, these guys, in most college football, they leave it in. So, they make you have to throw the football against them. They try to take away the run. They create pressure. They've got 9 sacks. And so, I think one of the biggest things is they've got some guys that love to go make plays. Kenneth Murray's one of my favorite players. I mean, I just love the way he runs sideline to sideline. He's physical. So they're going to challenge us. Last year they challenged us, the pass rush and all those things. So it's just going to come down to, can we block them up front? We're going to have enough time to. We've had guys get open the last couple of weeks. We haven't always had enough time to get it there. And hey, are we going to have enough time to get the ball down the field? And if we do, then we feel good that, our receivers, not going to be perfect every time, but maybe one will jump up and make a play or run by somebody or get open and catch a ball and run. I mean, that's what the game's about. They make it hard to run it against you to keep that efficiency, so we're working hard on trying to find 1 or 2 runs that we feel good about. So, it'll be interesting. It'll be a heck of a fight because they're good on defense.
Now that you're through 4 games, the redshirt rule is kind of coming into effect a little bit. How do you see that affecting the older guys? I know you've talked about maybe some older guys that don't get a ton of playing time right now could be in line for a red shirt if possible. Do you see that happening?
Yeah, we're trying to see if we can do that with some guys. We're very honest with them, saying, hey, we're going to try to do this with you. We have guys like Gavin Holmes and RJ who's over there catching balls. They haven't played yet this year. We wanted them coming off injury to have some time to develop. They had to play for us last year. A year we would have loved to have redshirted them early on, so we're trying to redshirt them now if we can. We have some young guys like Squirrel and guys that we're trying to save for later. So, and then we have some other guys, Jared Atkinson, he might end up, if we can afford to redshirt him. He's played the first 4 games. We're trying to see if we can do that with him now. So it's on a very individual sort of case-by-case basis, and it's really about a week-by-week basis, But I think we have a good group of guys that. And what we want them to understand is we always want to do what's right for the team, but we also, more importantly, want to do what's right for the players. And so if we can redshirt a guy, give him a year to develop, give him a year extra of schooling, give him a year extra of, just take it. Sometimes you have to take the pressure off guys, and just let them relax and be a college student and go be on the scout team for a year and come back next year recharged. So we're seeing if we can do that, And I'd say I go back to Gavin, instead of pushing himself to come back from the ACL too early, he's out there every day at practice. He's running around, he's flying around, he's getting better and better. And if he does play the last 4 games this year, great. And if not, he'll be that much better next year and be really a good player for us.
You mentioned Murray he had like 25 tackles or something. How, as a football fan, how fun was that to just watch that Army film?
Yeah, well, I've had a lot. I played against Army when I was at Temple as an assistant coach and as the head coach, and so I know how difficult those games are. It's such a great offense, and it's fun to watch people try to defend it. And I think the thing I saw from the OU defenders was their toughness. They didn't. Sometimes you see guys, they go out there, they have knee braces on, and they're all braced up, and you're like, oh, they're not ready for a fight. They went out there and, they played an old, 50 defense and knocked people back and made tackles, and it was fun to watch. And he's a special player. I mean, he just kept making those plays, play in and play out.
it's been joked about on Twitter and stuff that y'all should just come out and run the triple option, maybe catch them off guard again. But is there something to that? Obviously, y'all won't do that, but is there something to that to try and, catch them off guard with a couple things here and there, or keep them uncomfortable, if you will?
Yeah, I don't think Army caught him off guard, though. Army ran the ball right down the middle and controlled the clock. I mean, I think everyone knew. Army did it to us 2 years ago. When I was at Temple, we were 16-point favorites, and they beat us just by keeping the ball away. They recognized that, hey, the best way to stop the Oklahoma offense was to keep it away from them. And when we beat Coach Rhule, when he was the offensive coordinator of East Carolina, and they were top 25, we ran the ball every play. It was an icy day and tried to keep the ball away from them. And so, in a perfect world, if you could, you'd love to run the ball as much as possible, keep them off the field, control the clock. I just don't know that we're necessarily built to do that right now. We've got a couple freshman tight ends out there that are giving all they got, and a couple of years we'll have, Christoph will be a 6'6", 280-pound tight end, and Braylon Taylor will be 6'8", 255, and Tyler Henderson will be 260, and we'll be able to go in hopefully into places and control the clock when need be. But that's really just not where we are right now. So we'll just have to try to be us. But catching people off guard and stuff like that, I think when you go to beat a team like Oklahoma, yeah, you're going to always try to find a wrinkle or try to find a play. But you have to beat people. Coach Paterno used to always say, they might trick us here, they might trick us there, but they're going to have to beat us. And so, you go back and watch 2014, watch Baylor go up to Oklahoma and beat them there. There's no tricks. It's Bryce Petty making plays and Corey Coleman making plays and Shock Linwood running. It's players win games. And our players, I've said that to them so many times, I think they're starting to like that. Like they're realizing, man, we win the game. Like we go make the play. And so we'll hopefully have a couple creative things here and there. But at the end of the day, you got to get open. You got to catch the football. You got to protect. You got to block. You got to tackle. You got to do those things, especially when you face a top 5 team. They don't win 11 games every year just by rolling the balls out. They go out there and they play football and put their hands on people. And we scored 41 points last year. As I told the team, there weren't a lot of tricky, creative things there. It was just Platt getting open, Mims getting open, guys breaking runs, breaking catches. I would like to see us, if I could, run the football and see if that wouldn't allow us to, be a little more efficient and keep them off the field. It's just hard to do.
Now you mentioned a couple of the injuries. Is there anybody you won't have for this weekend?
I got all the guys are day to day. I'm really, I'm be quite honest with you guys, I'm really not dying to tell them who's not playing. So you guys brought up some names that no one knows. So I would prefer to, just say, hey, we'll see what happens and let them deal with it. But we got who's healthy, and we'll see. We'll trust them to go play, and we're going to take a lot of kids up there and a lot of guys first time playing on a road game in the Big 12 and see what they do and see if they go play well. I think one of the cool things for us was a lot of our freshmen played well last week. We talk about Taekwon, making the catches and all that, but JT Wood's first sack, and then you turn the tape on, and Kalen Barnes really, doing some really good things. And so we'll just have the older guys try to lead the young guys, kind of like you asked before, and go up there and play them. And we'll see. There's some guys, they're day to day, and we'll see. I just hate telling the guy he's not going to make it today. I'm hopeful that he'll make it. And I think one of the things a lot of our guys are learning is, we never want a guy to play injured. You never want a guy to play hurt. But, you want to go win big ball games. Guys playing in the NFL, they got to play with a tweak here and a bruise there. And so Joey McGuire says all the time, the best you felt in football was the day before camp started. So we have a lot of guys that are practicing and playing, a little bit banged up, but they're getting better. And so, but yeah, day to day, a lot of guys. We have some guys that are out, like X Jones was out. Kyle Boyd is out, but a lot of other guys we're going to wait and see if they can go on Saturday.
Is JT still getting ribbed for the dropped interception the other day? He said yesterday. He's getting some good ribs from the teammates.
We showed that to the team, and really for someone else. We usually show the tough plays and then the not so tough plays from the game, and everyone that became quite the source of a lot of guys. So, but. Yeah, you just see that he's a good young player. Him and Christian both. It's fun to see those two freshman safeties out there at times, and they're you can see them just every day getting better and better and better. And as I told them, Coach Snow is going to coach them to the last day that they're here as hard as he can. And if they keep taking that coaching, man, the sky's the limit.